pardon the mess behind me. Sorry, pardon the mess behind me. I just want to say we're in the process of tearing down wallpaper and painting the walls, and so things are a little bit a mess. So I got like a picture frame and stuff behind me. But anyways, with that said, welcome to Sports Talk with Lee, and it's been a crazy month. I've been wanting to get this channel up and going, and was just waiting for the right bit of news, and today brought it. So about a month ago, 2 months ago, I was hoping Jim Harbaugh would be coming to Michigan, and it became reality today with the press conference and the halftime speech at the basketball game. And I just have to say, I could not be more excited. But before I talk about Jim Harbaugh, I want to say Brady Hoke, I liked the guy, awesome guy. I met him back when I was in 7th grade when he was the defensive line coach at Michigan. His daughter, I went to middle school and high school with her. Really nice girl, Kelly. I remember her walking through the halls and all her Michigan stuff. She had a Michigan backpack and all that good stuff. And she had her dad come in and speak to our class, Mrs. Tucker's 7th grade English class, I believe, the year they won the national championship. And so Glenn Steele, James Hall, a few other guys were there. And yeah, nice guy, super nice guy. Really hoped it would work out with him as our coach. And honestly, I don't blame him for all the problems. In fact, it is what it is. He's not our coach anymore. I hope whatever he does, I hope he does well at it because he's an awesome guy. He truly loved Michigan, truly loved his players, and I hope he ends up somewhere good or ends up doing what he wants to do. So, but yeah, so thanks, Brady Hoke. Appreciate everything. Now, Jim Harbaugh, very classy at the press conference today, thanked Brady Hoke, Lloyd Carr, all those that came before him, which is kind of expected here in Michigan. It's, a lot of the way it is, it's more of the pay respects to the people that came before you at Michigan. Tradition is a huge thing. And guys who don't seem to respect that and don't, acknowledge it enough tend to be looked down upon by alumni and things like that. So again, Jim Harbaugh, not saying that he was kissing butt or anything like that, because I don't think he was, but he handled it well. Obviously he knew from, his father working as a Michigan coach before. He knows from being a player here before, having relationships with all these people already. He knew, so very good speech. It wasn't anything, great. He didn't do any headliner type of things. No guarantees. He didn't guarantee any wins over Ohio State or anything. In fact, it was asked if he was going to make guarantees, and he's like, "Oh, I've made guarantees before, and I've grown up since then." So, but yeah. So, what does this mean, Jim Harbaugh being our head coach? Well, everywhere he's been, he's won. San Diego State. I think he was a quarterbacks coach or something in Oakland for a while when they were decent, I believe. But San Diego State head coach made them decent. Stanford turned them into a winner, beating USC, beating Notre Dame. He wins games. And then he went on to the NFL, where, again, first 3 years, 3 NFC championships. Now, obviously, we all know his team had a lot of talent the last 2 years. And even that first year, it was a really talented team. But he did it with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. And say what you want, Colin Kaepernick's not a great quarterback. Alex Smith was about 2 games from being out of the NFL when Harbaugh took over. So he knows what he's doing. He knows how to coach. Andrew Luck, right, was recruited by Northwestern, Purdue, I think Virginia or something like that, a few other schools, but was not recruited by the best schools by a long shot. Now, obviously, Andrew Luck was a 4-star recruit, went on to Stanford and was great at Stanford and is now a great NFL quarterback. But I think it's a combination of things. I think Harbaugh's a great coach. I think Andrew Luck has a really good work ethic and is very smart. And I feel like I feel like Harbaugh had a lot to do with that. Maybe I'm wrong, but Harbaugh's done a great job everywhere he's been. And so there's no reason as a Michigan fan to believe that he won't do a great job here. So with that said, this next year, Harbaugh will be his first year at Michigan. He's going to have Shane Morris and this freshman Malzone to work with at quarterback. And who knows, maybe somebody else will jump into the mix here in the next month in recruiting. But Shane Morris was a highly touted freshman and showed some signs. Just went through his sophomore year, so I think this next year will be his junior year. I don't think he's going to have be able to claim a redshirt year or anything. But yeah, so he's going to be in his junior year, which I don't know if I'm a believer that Shane Morris will be the guy. Not yet. Now, I think he's got talent. I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't know who will be the starter next year. I think it's going to come down to those two between Malzone and Shane Morris. Now, running backs, you had that guy, what was he, a freshman, blew his ACL out for the second time. He might be back. Who knows? Maybe his career's over. I think he was a freshman. Maybe he wasn't. And then you have Derek Green still, which I still think can get the job done. The biggest issue we've had the last 2 years was our offensive line. Our offensive line was dominated in most games, and that's not good. That makes it so you can't run the ball and you can't pass the ball. And if you can't run the ball, you can't pass the ball. And if you can't pass the ball, you can't run the ball. So you had a huge problem right there. And just Jim Harbaugh's demeanor and the way, I think his intensity alone will rub off on these kids. These guys are going to be treated like men. They're not going to be treated like kids anymore. You're not going to see, and this never bothered me, but I know it bothered a lot of other Michigan fans, but you're not going to see on a blown play Jim Harbaugh on the sideline just clapping his hands, and I don't think that really matters anyway, but you're going to see him getting in these kids' faces every now and then. We have not had a coach this intense since Bo Schembechler. Lloyd Carr wasn't that intense. Rich Rod, okay, he was kind of intense, but whatever. Brady Hoke was never really that intense. And Gary Moeller was here for a picnic and then was gone. So, I think he's going to get the job done. So the offensive line I expect to be better. Our defense was 10th in the country, I believe, this past year. I expect that to continue. I've heard rumors that maybe Madison will be back as a position coach, which does not make sense to me. I heard also back when Brady Hoke left that Madison would not be back and would retire with Brady Hoke being gone, but because of his relationship with the Harbaugh family, he might stick around. I don't know. A lot of what ifs at this moment until we start hearing who some of these coaches are going to be in the next week or so. I'm assuming we'll hear. I think it's too early to say, but I expect the defense to be just as good. Obviously, Jake Ryan's going to be gone, but you're going to have Joe Bolden at linebacker. Harbaugh had good linebackers at Stanford, I believe. He had a good defensive line at Stanford. He had a good defense. He made, I know Stanford was good after him, but when he was there, he turned around that culture. Stanford wasn't used to winning in football, and then Harbaugh was there and showed him it could be done. So Stanford then carried on, and even under Shaw, they carried on to be a good team. So, that's kind of what I'm hoping he does here. He turns around the mentality, makes us a grittier team again, rejuvenates the rivalries with Ohio State. Before Rich Rod, this goes to the Michigan State thing. when I was living over near Ann Arbor, grew up 5 minutes from the big house. When I was living over there, all throughout high school and stuff like that, us Michigan fans didn't care about Michigan State. None of us did. Michigan State was not even a blip on the radar. The only teams and rivalries we seemed to that I remember all Michigan fans getting fired up about was Notre Dame and Ohio State. And Michigan State always tried, and they all the Spartan fans would talk so much crap, and we'd talk it back. But I honestly don't remember giving a crap about Spartan fans. And then Rich Rod came, and it changed everything. Yeah, it would suck when we lost to Michigan State, but more because we didn't expect to lose. We never expected to lose to Michigan State. I mean, Nick Saban left Michigan State because he didn't think he could turn it into a team that would be more respected than Michigan or Ohio State. So, but yeah, and now the last couple of years with Michigan State beating us and I mean pretty much owning us in the rivalry, they've won 6 out of the last 7, I think. Yeah, they've really handed it to us. They've been much better on defense. They've had better coaching. They've had it all. They've wanted it more. And I think now, more than ever, I think Michigan fans, we notice you. And we want to take it back. So, get this state back on track. But anyways, we'll see what happens with it all. Yeah, I mean, really, it just kind of comes, like I said, it comes down to a lot of different things. You're going to see more intense games. I think you're going to see Harbaugh getting on these guys for bad plays, and you're going to see these guys responding because they respond to him. So, Michigan State, you better watch out. And I know Ohio State's sweating a little bit. They did a press conference for the Sugar Bowl today against Alabama, and they said all the right things. But Urban Meyer knows Harbaugh's awesome, and he's going to have to look out. Some of the top recruits in the country now want to come to Michigan again. I mean, not that that's ever not been the case, but a lot of them have come out publicly and said they want to check out Harbaugh at Michigan and see what's going on. So, and recruiting's not the end all be all. I don't even buy into all the recruiting numbers. I mean, look at all those years Notre Dame supposedly had top 10, top 20 recruiting classes, and they were a garbage team. So you can't listen to recruiting. That's not really a good barometer of quality of a team. So we got the coach now. Now it's just a matter of him teaching these kids his way and seeing what happens. But I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting couple years in this rivalry. So with that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts below about Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, and all that good stuff. And let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. I'll probably just talk about stuff like this. Probably do game previews for some of my teams and recaps and things like that. So hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.